time today and to come to this class. So we are going through chapter 4. Oh, actually, for those of you that don't know me, I am Julie Valenzuela. I've been a realtor here at RE/MAX for quite some time, but I'm in the midst of transitioning my business into the financial services. Jennifer had purchased one of the franchises through the financial architects, and I got my license, for insurance. I did it because I have found, through learning a lot of the products, that there is a lack of knowledge in people securing their retirement, And then I think too that, with us being in real estate, a lot of our clients don't have their properties and assets in a living trust. And that's also something that, that our company offers as well. There's a lot of different products and, why I got into it. So I'm looking forward to it. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into it. So today we are discussing chapter 4 of the Law of Reflection. And let's see down. Okay, so let's get through it. So the Law of Reflection is learning to pause, allows growth to catch up with you. And I love this quote. So the way that it started, it says, follow effective action with quiet reflection. For the quiet reflection will come even more effective action. This is so true, but I love how John Maxwell explains it best. He says, experience isn't the best teacher. Evaluating the experience is where the learning and teaching come from. And I feel that a lot of us are taught that, we learn through experience, but we only learn through experience if we're actually diving into, what happened, going on, within that experience. That's where the teaching comes from. So reflecting on past experiences and lessons learned allows you to absorb knowledge, make connection, and prepare for future growth. So let's start getting into, you want to take a picture? Okay. Okay, so there's the power of pausing. So learning to pause allows growth to catch up to you. So the first thing to do is reflection turns experience into insight. So it said that it's commonly said that experience is the teacher of all things, but per John Maxwell, this is untrue. He says that evaluating experience is. People have innumerable experiences every day, and many learn nothing from them because they never take the time to pause and reflect. So a lot of times we just go through experience, we're just like, oh, well, that happened, you know what I mean? But it's like, do you ever go through something and just really take the time and just be like, what did I learn from this experience, And then number 2, it says everyone needs a time and place to pause. So if you go to the trouble to create a place to pause and think, and you schedule the time to go there, you will probably actually use it, and you will definitely benefit from it. Number 3 is pausing with intention expands and enriches thinking. So time alone allows people to sort through their experience, put it into perspective, and plan for the future. So when taking time to pause, it's said to use your eyes. So the first is investigation, which is discover and figure out your experience. So, so pausing means more than just slowing down and smell the roses. It means to stop and really figure it out. You know what I mean? So like when you're going through something like, just, investigate, like, why am I feeling this way? Why am I going through this? Why did this happen? We can even, think about with real estate. We'll put in real estate. How about like a transaction that probably didn't go the best way? That something happened, so like after, the transaction, if you really pause to think, like what really happened that made, this in particular thing go on, that's something that we can think of. And I feel like in every I would say every transaction, every experience that we have with people, I think that it's a really good idea that we stop and do that, because there's good things that can come out of it and bad things, obviously, you know what I mean, that how we can correct them. I'll give you like a scenario. So, you know, how I'm, you know, new to financial services, right? And I just wrote up my first two term life insurance policies. And I did it with the help of, you know, one of the other girls that, you know, are a little more experienced than me, you know. But what I did was, you know, because I'm trying to, like, you know, in real estate, you come up with your system on how you want to work your transaction, or even like in loans, like your experience with your clients, you know, you kind of create your checklist. Well, I'm in the process of creating my checklist on it, you know. So through it, I was like, okay, so one, I asked my client, because she was a good friend of mine, I was like, why don't you tell me the good and the bad of what you felt on her presentation? And she did, you know, so it helped me create my checklist on what I want to go through, you know, with my client, you know. So it's like, I feel like if you don't pause to take time in that, like in your business, you know, how are you ever going to know? But on the flip side, you know, you can even put that towards just emotionally, like if you're just going through anything. Like I feel like the power of pausing, you know, not even just like in business, but you can utilize it too, just in any experience of your life, relationships, family, anything. So the second one is incubation. So this is putting an experience in a slow cooker to simmer in your mind for a while. So this is very similar to meditation. I like what it said in the book. It says, when you pray, you talk to God. When you meditate, you listen to him. So incubation is listening and learning. Number 3 is illumination. That's the aha moments, the epiphanies. So at the end of each day, you should play back the tapes of your performance. The results should either applaud or prod you. And then D, it's illustration. So that's be intentional about pausing to allow learning to catch up. So be very clear on what exactly you're pausing and reflecting on. So it's not just about having an in particular thought and going through it. It's about actually being very intentional on what you're trying to sort out through your mind. So good questions are the heart of reflections. If your questions are focused, they will stimulate creative thinking, because there is something about a well-worded question that often penetrates to the heart of the matter and triggers new ideas and insights. So I like what Tony Robbins says. It says, when you are thinking, no, hold on. He puts it this way: successful people ask better questions, and as a result, they get better answers. So it's about, you know, asking very concise questions to get better answers. So when you are thinking and reflecting and you feel you have hit a roadblock, ask yourself questions. If you are trying to learn something new, ask questions. So it's all about asking, you know, good questions. So here are some personal awareness questions. So, you know, some people find it difficult to know what questions to ask, so the questions are tailored to help. Here are some questions that are tailored to help develop personal awareness. You know, so you can ask yourself, like, you know, at this moment in time, what is your biggest asset? What is my biggest liability? What is my highest high? What is my lowest low? What is my most worthwhile emotion? What is my least worthwhile emotion? What is my best habit? What is my worst habit? What is the most fulfilling to me? And what do I prize most highly? You know, we can also create questions, you know, within our, you know, business. You know, did I prospect today? Did I do my non-negotiables? Did I hit my goals? You know, we can create, you know, different questions, you know, that we can ask ourselves, so that at the end of each day, you know, we're kind of reevaluating what we did for our day. And I know probably pausing and reflecting seems kind of hard. And, it says that all of this probably sounds like a lot of steps and a lot of trouble. And you're right, it is. I mean, you think about it, how often is it that we go through every single day pausing and reflecting on what we did? Not very often, but they do say that, successful people do this on a daily basis. And it's kind of funny because as, I was diving through the material, any coach that I've ever had, any mentor, this is something that they always stated for us to do, that every single day before leaving work, you reevaluate and pause and think about what you did, what you didn't do, what you could have done, what should have been done, what you could have done better, what you need to work on, because it starts to, help you close in the gaps, on what you want to perfect. So never forget that your goal in personal growth is reaching your potential. To do that, you need to keep pausing, keep asking questions, and keep growing every day. So to recap, applying the law of reflection to your life. So number one would be create a place where you can consistently and effectively pause and reflect. Number two is schedule time to pause and reflect. And number three, the law of reflection will do you little good unless you are intentional in your thinking time. So whatever issue you are wanting to reflect on, spending some time creating questions and writing your answers to those questions during your scheduled time of reflection is needed. And that's it.
That was 13.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, like when I was like going through it, I'm like this chapter was just short. And I was like, I don't want to sit there and run it on, but I mean, realistically, like the basis of it is every single day pausing and reflecting and asking quality questions, and it's just like, I mean, I even like say, something bad happened, or even like in a transaction, like when shit's like hitting the fan and you're just like, dang, like I'm gonna like lose this, this transaction. Like one thing that I've learned, throughout the years is I'll be like, you know what? I'm not gonna do anything. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm gonna sleep on it. I'm gonna think about it, and then tomorrow morning I'm gonna figure out what's gonna happen. And I notice that when I do that, the outcome is always better. I notice that when I react to it right away, things are said, tensions built, and it's all about teamwork, when it comes to like the different transactions, think about like in like the relationship, like if you like had like a fight with your spouse, same thing, it's just like stop, don't say anything, think about it, reflect on it, ask yourself some questions, go through it, so I mean, this law you can definitely apply to, every aspect of your life. And, I used to meditate a lot, and that's like something that I want to get back into, because meditation, I feel, it did really help and settle me down in a lot of different circumstances of my life. Pausing and reflecting, it's very beneficial, so I do advocate that every single one of you spend some more time doing it. Does anyone have any questions? Any thoughts, concerns, anything?
I'm sorry, it's crazy, Barbara.
It's okay.
He's crazy.
He's on blast.
He's down the hall. Hey, well, at least he's doing his job, right? All right, well, I mean, thank you guys for attending. I know it was short and sweet, but that's all I got for you.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.